There was always this one band, which I was afraid to start listening to, afraid that I might not be able to go back. Their music was overwhelming, alien, and I did not understand how people from the network could call them some of the greatest to ever do it. But now I see why. So let this log be your guide and record.
I can feel the sunshine and breezes while I blaze through the cracks. Here in this broken game, looking for the light, not for eternity. Sorry, I may be sooner carry me.
Dorco US was a US-based deathcore band headed by Tom Barber and Josh Miller. As of today, their name is surrounded by rumors and discussions as to its meaning and pronunciation. I didn't hear of Dorco through the usual means, or the algorithm, as it is old media. It was much more like they found me. One day there was a cast laying in my postbox, which is increasingly rare these days, even in the network. But I asked around, and that's how I found out about them. They were described to me as mad geniuses and as absurdly aggressive. Few people were able to even get a cast of their music. I guess I got lucky with an anonymous contact or something. So there I was, at the beginning of my metal journey, near the end of 2050, when I just started listening to artists that the network called the greatest. Linkin Park most notable among them, which also was the heaviest thing I had listened to up to that point. But with the prospect of an anonymous person giving me a rare cast, I was intrigued, to say the least. And then, when I was on my way home from my daily, I started listening to the cast for the first time. Imagine my face, or even just my confusion, when this came to my ears, when the heaviest song I've heard was QWERTY from Linkin Park. And well, after 20 seconds of getting my neurons assaulted, I ejected the cast and swore off listening to whatever I just witnessed. Well, that promise I didn't keep. After a year or more of listening to metal and falling into the rabbit hole that genres are, which is another topic in and of itself, I hear someone else in the network that goes by Nocturnal mention Pale Tongue by Dorco US. He praised the song in a lot of different ways, like their music videos and general greatness. And well, I gave in. I slotted the cast back in. And I fell in love with their music. At first I was just loving the stupidly heavy songs and skipped all the others. The heavy songs gave me a rush of adrenaline, unlike any of the synths out there. They got me pumped and made me want to do shit again. That's what I used the songs for, as motivators, to browse the nav and uncover more old media. But one day I came upon some hard times, and lost quite a lot of things. So I went to one of my trusted sources in the network and asked him for something else, something new. And well, he delivered quite something. He gave me a cast of Lorna Shore, and that's a whole nother log you gotta find. But wow, they changed my mind on a lot of media.
What
But after that I gave all of Darko's songs another listen. I was still taken aback by the sheer brutality of the discography. Tom Barber's vocals are simply on another level. His lows were the most guttural feeling things I've heard up to that point. His mid-screams sounded more unique than anything I've heard up to that point. And his mixing of all the techniques was brutal, chaotic and simply stunningly impressive. Whenever I heard the opening to Splinter Cell and that long, low scream, I was sent into another dimension. But besides his insane vocals, the guitars, drums, and all the other instruments are played to perfection and used in ways that baffled me so much. For example, they used the sound of scratching your pick up and down the strings as a own instrument and bent some of the notes to the utmost extent, and the drums are simply played to perfection. The sounds they made with these analog instruments are so much more than impressive and creative. It probably was the epitome of those things. All of this is supported by some really unique synths in the background. And their music videos, they were something different. While they did age quite a bit, they still have that art acid inspiring aesthetic and gloss to them. They're grotesque depictions of nightmares pumped up with steroids to be the most vile thing anyone had ever seen. And it worked. These things are art pieces of morbid brutality. All of this together paints a picture of sheer brutality. That of a band who only wanted to reach the next step of brutal breakdowns, vocals, aesthetics, and be the edgiest that there is. But then there are outliers. If This Forever, Recollection, Begin, Numlock, Butcher's Block. After listening to the most brutal album known to man, which was concocted in a laboratory deep within some rural mountain terrain, I'm hit by these outliers. Lo-fi or almost dreamcore type songs, as they were called, that simply break the seeming brutality established and make you feel like you're floating in the Dead Sea, pondering over who has created us and what my, as well as everyone else's, purpose is. And if that purpose is non-existent, is it just a fabrication of the human need to be productive, a means not to dread the next day ahead? Is it all that wrong to just want to exist without reason or rhyme, and to simply create and show what I or anyone else feels deep down? They make you feel secure, but also make you open for intrusive thoughts of what is to come, of what lies out there in the future, waiting. And all of that wondering is almost immediately interrupted by another brutal song, maybe trying to push down those thoughts, trying to get rid of the unsure thoughts that plague the mind with an outlash of anger and brutality. But there's still one other type of song. They just decided to mix the brutality of songs like Acid Inject and the serenity of If This Is Forever. Together it creates this cathartic outburst of beauty which is not overpowered by anger or brutality, but which is supported by it, carried outwards for all to hear, overpowering the intrusive thoughts and leaving understanding, warmth, behind in its wake. All of this is supported and elevated by Tom's sorrowful, almost painful, but warm vocals and Josh's absolutely insane instrumentals. All of this paints a picture of not only albums that depict sorrowful serenity and beauty that is suppressed by anger and brutality until it boils over and falls into acceptance, but also that of a band who is not afraid to experiment, try new things, and put their all into their work. So we come to the end of this log. Your main takeaway should be to listen to any cast of Darko US you can find. But also, embrace the weird, the unusual, and open your heart to the new things. Don't be corrupted by the algorithm. You will find things that will envelop your heart and make you feel something real. And even if you hate what you find now, you know what you do not like. And hey, you gave it a shot. So, be off so. End log.